Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the On the Map Challenge on Alma, Missouri. It is now July, and we are about to get started right into wheat harvest. It is all ready to go, and we're at the farm for a minute. We're going to set the auger up, and then we're going to head out to the first field. But first things first, while we are setting the auger up, I went and picked up something else that we're going to need, and it is a drive-over conveyor for our semi-truck. So now we can load stuff into the bin using the auger we have and the semi-truck. We don't have to have a separate auger. So we're going to set the auger up, and then we're going to head out to the field. We're going to be using our new combine, our new tractor, our new grain cart. Todd and Dalton both are going to be arriving to the farm. Somebody's going to be running the grain cart. Somebody's going to be running the semi. We're going to have like an assembly line going, hauling wheat back to the farm. And then I should just be nonstop going in the combine unless we trade out. It is about 10 o'clock in the morning right now, so we're trying to kind of let the dew die down a little bit. It is kind of wet outside. We had a little bit of a rain shower come in last night, but so far the conditions are looking really good. It's going to get really hot today, so it should dry that stuff off. And we're looking at a really good moisture level to be harvesting once we get into about 11, 12 o'clock. So yeah, it's go time. Couldn't ask for better weather. You can see it's very sunny. It's nice out here. So I'm going to set the auger up, take the head to the field, and we will get started. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hit this intro and get right into this episode. Alright, let's go ahead and set the auger up real fast, and then we will be good to go. We're going to be using this new bin that we put up just recently at the corner of the three-sided shed. It's just looking the most promising, and then we'll put soybeans and corn in the other two, just like we always have been. This might be a little bit interesting because of how tight it is down here. There's not a lot of room to turn around, so I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to do with the semi-truck, but hopefully it'll do just fine. We should have plenty of room to turn around down there in that field to the left of me. Alright, there we go. That should be good, I hope. This bin is a little bit harder to line up than the other two because the door is so small for whatever reason, but hopefully we won't have any spillage. We'll check and see, but now we're going to hook up to the auger, and this one we do have to have a tractor on the PTO to run it, so we're going to leave this here, and there we go. That should be just fine. I may position it a little bit over a tad, but we do have this. So like I said in the intro, this is brand new. It is actually brand new this time. It's not just new to us, and we're just renting it. It's not actually ours. We didn't buy it. Just going to use it for harvest, wheat harvest, and then we may pick one up this fall for fall harvest, but we've just got it for about a week or two. So hopefully we can get all this wheat cut in the time we have it, or we're going to be in a mess. But how this thing works is it's very self-explanatory. You drive the semi-truck over it, and whenever you go to unload the doors of the trailer, the grain drops on this auger, carries it up and into this auger over here. It's honestly genius. I've used it a bunch of times, more than I can count, and it saves, well, a lot of trouble, because imagine trying to get a semi-trailer over this little auger spout right here with the tractor sitting here. So yeah, we got this. I'm going to back it up with the truck real fast, line it all up and everything, and we should be all good to hit the field. Alright, there we go. Got it all set up, and this is what it looks like. So you can see we've got plenty of room to work with here. Actually, we'll just drive the semi up straight through here, and then we'll go and turn around in this field behind me. So we're going to hook the header up, the header cart, and we're going to take it out to the field real fast. We'll come back and grab the combine. We're going to start in the field kind of close to the farm, I do believe. This is the first time we're bringing any of this stuff out of the farm, so I am pretty excited, really excited to run the new combine and run this draper head. I have, not that I even really know of, ran a draper head on Farming Simulator like ever. I'm just strictly like the auger reel head, and I don't ever run the drapers. So this will be a first for me, and like I said, I am pretty dang excited. So we're going to have to do a little bit of hauling equipment and shuffling equipment for a little while. We are still waiting on both Todd and Dalton to get here, but I do believe Dalton is going to be running the semi-truck, and Todd should be carting grain. And I've also got an auto drive course that, fingers crossed, should work. I set it up before I ever started recording, so we should have fully autonomous grain carting, if you wanted to look at it that way. Just want to go ahead and forewarn you, it may not work exactly like I want it to, so we may have some tractors and stuff running into trees and just not doing the right thing. Blame Todd and Dalton for that, not me. But here is the first field. You can see the wheat has turned over quite nice. It's a big old field of golden wheat. So let's see here. We're going to have to kind of inch down this way and unhook the header over here. Hopefully the combine will be fine unhooking it on uneven ground. It should be. I don't think that will be in the way, but time will tell. I don't know how much room we're going to need to get in here and turn around with the chaser wagon and the semi, but maybe we're going to need a little more room than that, so I might have to cut out a little turnaround and whatnot with the combine, but we'll do that right now. And also, like I did say in the intro, we will be using the new tractor on the grain cart. I thought long and hard about it, and the new tractor happens to have a scale in it. We don't have a scale on any of the other tractors, so it'll be really nice to see how much the cart weighs and all that, how much we're bringing in. So I think we're going to run the new tractor strictly for that. But once we put a scale in like the 8300, I think I'd want to run it on that, just because that might pull a little better. Well, not pull it better, but it's just a nicer setup to run, I'd say so myself. Because we can have this tractor right here. Oh, and also what I mean by that, like having the 8300 run it, is because I'm kind of thinking towards like fall harvest. If we get a scale on this tractor right here, by the time fall harvest runs around, we'll put the grain cart on the 8300. Only reason for that is we can have the 9330 run in the ripper and the 8320 run in the cultivator. Don't know why we'd need to do that, but if we do happen to hire another employee, which I'm looking at that, I would like to have another guy working on the farm, or even two. If we get that far this year, then that'll be nice to have a lot of people doing different things. We can bust out tillage and harvest at the same time. And that's just kind of how I'd like to put the tractors on different implements, if that makes sense. Yeah, we're going to have to move this tractor out of the way first thing to get the combine out. And it has been fully serviced. It's ready to go. Got it switched over to grain and everything, so we don't have to do anything to it. And you know what? I'm actually just going to park this tractor outside. We're more than likely going to have a lot of moving parts in and out of that shed. So it'll sit right here for the time being. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Breaking the combine out for the very first time. Man, am I excited. I'll be really happy to get this thing on some corn, but wheat will have to do just fine for the time being. So we'll pull it out and hit the road. We'll beat them out here to it. Like I said, they'll be here in about 5-10 minutes. We'll knock out a headland pass and maybe a little clearing so they can turn around at the edge of the field. And we've also got to get the combine dialed in, so we got to unfold everything and, hook up the header, all that stuff. It should take plenty of time, and they'll be here by the time we get full. Gotta say, the duals on this combine really make it look mean. Such an upgrade from our last two. We started with a little bitty axial flow, then we upgraded the axial flow to, what was it, like a 2003 year model? Now we've gone all the way up to a 2008 four-wheel drive with front duals, and it's a beast. It's a very big combine. And today we're going to see it in action firsthand, so I guess we're just going to get started. So we will creep on down in the field approach and hook this up to the best of our ability. Like I said, it's kind of on like an incline, so we're going to have to be very careful hooking this up. Going to have to line it up just right. It's more fun to do it in first person if you ask me, so we'll line the feeder house up with the connector joint. And then also, because of how this header works, or the header trailer I guess I should say, we're going to have to come out of the combine and unhook it off the header. So it's actually got like a tension strap we're going to have to undo. There we go. Now it should be free to pick up off the header cart. Most carts, they just kind of sit on the trailer and they like lock in place, but this one actually has a mechanism where you have to fasten it down with a belt, so that's actually pretty cool. Now we can pick up off the trailer, back off of here really slowly, and check this out. The header is on the combine for the very first time. Just need to get out and work on the hydraulics and stuff and get this bad boy unfolded. Alright, there we go, and you can see while I'm just sitting here, I can pick it up too, but it's got a little bit of flex in it already. When you unfold it, it like breaks down the mechanism to go over the hills or whatever. So yeah, I'm so excited to see how this is going to work. And I think this field we're just going to chop the straw, so we're not going to bale it. Alright, well, without further ado, let's get right into this. Alright, everything is looking good so far. I think the combine is handling this header pretty good actually. And if we come in the cab and take a look at it, that is very satisfying to watch. Watch it all come down the conveyor belt in the feeder house. And also watching the header like flex on the different inclines and stuff, that's really cool as well. So yeah, it was a worth it purchase if you ask me. It's been actually really good the 5 seconds I've used it, so we'll keep pressing on and see how it does. And also this combine is very mean, just gotta say it again, it's very nice. So not only does it have a bigger engine, it's got front duals, and like I did say 4-wheel drive, I mentioned all that already, but it handles inclines a whole lot more, I can tell it, especially when like the header's running and everything's on. It's not really underpowered like it used to be. And even with the other combine running a 25-foot head, I believe, that 2388 or 23, or what combine did we have? It was like wasn't a 2388, because that's what this is. It was like a 2188? I can't remember, but the combine we had before this one, it would handle everything decent on like flat ground, but as soon as you'd get to where it was just a little bit of an incline, it would bog it down, and you'd be running 3-4 mile an hour, but you can see right now we're all the way up to 6, and it's handling this thing no problem. But that other combine did struggle just a tad bit with the corn head especially, so I don't know, maybe that won't be present with this. And also, as you can see at the top of the field, they have arrived. I took a second off camera and cut out a little clearing right there, and also had to fix the stubble destruction in the files real quick. I had to go out of the game and go back into it. So we've got crushed wheat stubble down there, as you can see. Anyway, we are looking good, and we're already up 71% in the tank. So let's open the yield map here and take a look. It's looking really good actually. I think we've done good with the crop rotation so far. It's looking like I want it to. The green's even greener, and the lighter yellow is darker yellow. So yeah, the yield is better than it was with corn, and that's just simply because wheat yields more than corn, I think. The way we've got it set up, it should. So also right about here should be my first time I get to try out the course plate, see if it'll work, or not the course plate, the auto drive. So I'll get on this second row here and put my pipe out, see if he'll come and unload me. Everything should be working just fine. Got it all set up to have the grain cart follow the combine around the field, and then the truck leaves as soon as the grain cart fills them up. Alright, yep, here he comes. We're going to get unloaded real quick. Todd's coming to save the day. We may not be able to unload on the go every single time, but we can for sure park at the end of the field and unload into the chaser cart. But so far, this is way better than it used to be, having to stop and wait on him, which, okay, there he goes. Don't know what he's doing. And I mean, auto drive is not perfect, but it definitely saves time, so we can have somebody waiting. I just got done unloading, so he's going to sit there and wait on me. Whenever I get full again, he'll come and unload me a second time, and then as he gets full, he'll dump. So that's how I've got it set up. He just kind of is on standby until he gets full, and then once he gets full with the grain cart, he'll go and dump. Because in the past I've had a worker on follow me. That kind of works okay, just having them out to the side of you where you've got like your pipe out and they're matching the same speed as you. That works good, but this does work better, 100%. I'll just close the menu back. I've been trying to figure it all out because I'm not the best with auto drive, but it's working. I'm getting it figured out. So, and also I totally forgot to turn on GPS, so we need to do that as we start our rows up and down the field. But yeah, so far it's looking really good. It's working. Not many complaints yet. It's just the tractor is kind of freaking out a tiny bit with auto drive, like I was showing you a second ago before I had to turn it off and unload off camera. But hey, it should work eventually. We'll get all the kinks figured out, and I think 2 headland passes will just about do it, since this green head is quite a bit bigger. We should have plenty of room to turn around after we knock the second one out right here. Alright, there we go. We'll pick the head up, and we can turn around and go back over here. We'll start on this side of the field. The way I've got this set up right now, we may not even need GPS. We should just be able to go right up and down the field right here, make this a straight edge. Well, I think I'm going to turn it on anyway. This should save us in the long run from making a couple too many passes and having rows of shame like this one to the right of me. So this should make the field look a little better. And we'll go in cab once more. It is a little loud outside, like I said, and it is very satisfying watching all this crop get pulled in. I don't know, it's a different animation than with just like the normal augers, or it looks like it to me. It's a lot more satisfying. I could sit here and watch this for hours. And we'll grab this little row we missed right here before we head on and get that next part of the field, which there's a lot of crop to go, so we're just getting started in here. Well, maybe not in this field, but in all of them together. There's 4, so we got 1 down the dirt road. I totally forgot about that. We should have started down there, but I had to get auto drive working, and you got to do it for each field you work on, so we're gonna have to do it in every field. I just happened to start with this one since it was closer to the farm. So we'll do this field, get it all finished. We'll go down the dirt road. There's one at the end of the dirt road, field number 5, I believe. Then we'll go towards town. We got those 2 little fields that are right beside each other, and we will bale those fields for straw. So we'll do those last, and we'll take off the choppers, and we'll actually lay down a swath that we can bring the baler out and bale that up for straw bales. We'll open the yield map back up one more time and take a look. I mean, it's really looking good. We're going to get a lot of wheat. That's what I'm calling for, is a lot of wheat. I don't have an exact number, but we have been full once so far, and we've only been around the field twice, and this right here, and we're already back up to 50%. So that's a good bit. I obviously don't have like bushels in here, but I've got liters, so we can go off of how many liters we've gotten so far, and we're somewhere around, oh man, about 15,000 liters from just this little bit of the field so far. So hey, that sounds like a lot to me so far. And I think just about 1 or 2 more passes up the field, and we'll put the pipe back out, and he will come and unload us on the go. We're going to have to get turned around and get a little more full, though. We don't want to unload on the go while we're facing the crop. Like, the spout don't need to be out facing the crop. So we'll come down the field one more time and then back up. And by the time we're ready to unload, he shouldn't have to go far at all, since he's sitting down there at the end of the field. That'll work out just nicely. This for sure would be something if we had 2 combines rolling, and then the grain cart, and then like 2 semi trucks. It would be, oh, it'd be something. We got a pretty big setup running right now, but I just was really wanting to get a second combine, and then I was like, well, maybe we shouldn't do it, and then we ended up, getting this one instead of a second one. But I can't wait for when we're a very big guy and we're running 2 or 3 combines with a grain cart or 2 and a bunch of semi trucks. I think that's going to be so cool. But I don't know, I've really been enjoying the medium-sized equipment. Small I enjoy, but medium is for sure my favorite. And I just don't ever really play with large equipment. So as we get farther into Alma, I'll be doing something that I don't really ever do, to be honest with you, is play with big equipment like 24-row planters and ginormous 35, 40-foot cultivators. So, but by now it is 12 o'clock. It's actually 12:30. The dew is gone. The crop is dry, so moisture is looking good. I'll give it a thumbs up so far. Alright, we'll turn around and put our pipe out so he can know to come over here and unload us. He should be able to get us on the go as we go up the hill. Alright, well, it looks like he's going to come to the top of the field and meet us. He's on the run. He must have not had enough room to turn around down there, but I'm not real sure. He could have backed up or something. It's just the joys of auto drive. This is what I'm talking about right here. You don't ever know what the worker's going to do. I do need him to come on over here, though, and unload me. He's taking his sweet time. Todd needs to put a pep in his step for sure. It'd be cool if you could actually name the different workers instead of it being like worker A, worker B. It'd be cool if you could, name them the actual names I give them. And what in the world is this right here? This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Oh man, I can tell this is going to be a very interesting episode. Buddy's here. Not exactly in record time, but we didn't have to move a finger, so we will unload into him. He should have to wait one more time, though, so he'll wait around the field, and we'll make another pass and unload him one more time. My hope is to get 2 semi-loads out of this field, but it may not be possible. 1 will be fine for sure, but 2 would be the hope. Because if we can get 2 semi-loads out of every field, that is going to be some crazy good yield. I mean, you can see out there how much we got to go, but we've also done a good bit so far. So, I mean, and also I totally did not mention it in the intro. We've got a lot more to do today than just harvest wheat. In fact, we're going to be baling the straw as we get there. That's a far ways off, but we're going to be baling the straw, and then before we do anything else, we've got to plant soybeans, because it's time to do that. Well, yeah, we got to harvest the wheat, bale the straw on the fields that need it, and then we're going to be planting double crop soybeans right behind all this stubble. So that'll come in a day or so. Hoping we get all this wheat knocked out today. We'll finish up everything tomorrow. So somebody will be running the baler, and then somebody else will be planting soybeans in the wheat stubble, so we can, keep it going. We don't have to wait on the person before, because we've got 2 fields that we can go ahead and start planting soybeans on, and then 2 that we'll need, to have the straw baled up first. So I've got it all figured out, don't worry. I just cannot believe I did not mention that in the intro. It just made it seem like we've got a lot of harvesting wheat to do. Or maybe I did mention it in the intro. I can't really remember, but if I did not, there you go. That's what we're going to be doing in today's episode, across the board. But yeah, I don't know. Like I was mentioning with the whole 2 combines thing, it'd be nice to have 2 running in the field. And having 2 this size would honestly not be bad at all, but it's just kind of like the grain cart is not moving a lot. Like it's kind of sitting there for a while. And yeah, we don't have to really move around the field much. We can just keep harvesting, and the auto drive course will catch up with us and unload eventually, but it's just kind of sitting there. If we had a second combine, it'd be running full time. But did we really need a grain cart? I mean, I guess we did eventually, but this year we may have been able to pass without it. I don't know though. Get turned around here, set it back down. I think everything's going. And also something else, this header, I'm pretty sure the Drapers, what they're known for is minimizing header loss, because it's just got that one conveyor, it pulls all the crop in real nice, and so far I haven't had any problems with it. I got out of the combine and checked on the ground to see what kind of header loss we had. Nothing really, and also nothing out of the combine that was too terrible. So that's a different story though. This header, I think the reason they're so popular is because it minimizes header loss, and it's got a cleaner flow into the combine. Alright, so I think right now would be a good time to start putting our pipe out. It'll give him enough time to come down here and make his way to unload, so that we won't be turned around as he's just starting to move out here, and we won't have to wait on him at the end of the field. Yeah, look at that. Perfect timing. He did kind of go off in the ditch, but hey, he's on his way, so no complaints there. I have yet to unload on the go with auto drive, so this is the moment I've been waiting for if everything goes right. Alright, there we go. Now we're talking. That is what I was wanting. Hopefully he behaves himself. Yeah, unloading on the go with auto drive is a whole lot easier, as long as the tractor and the driver both behave themselves. And I can also tell that turning might be a little bit easier with like a non-articulated tractor on the grain cart. So yeah, that gives me another reason to put the 8300 on there for sure. But we are just about done with this field. We've got, I don't know, 4 more passes. I didn't realize how quickly this setup will just knock it all out. So yeah, that's a sign to get bigger fields for sure. There you go. That just gave me a sign right there. Between this big combine and the much bigger header, yeah, it gets it done pretty quick. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this field up, and we'll take everything down to the next one, which will be field number 5 or whatever down the dirt road. So I'll move the header, head cart, combine, truck and trailer, grain cart, all that. I'll move the convoy down the road, and then I'll catch back up with you guys then. Alright, we've moved on to the next field. We've been in this one for actually quite a little while. I was having some problems getting the auto drive course set up, so we've knocked out some headland passes, and now I am at the right side of the field, working my way to get this thing done. We've still got Todd on the grain cart. I think I've got everything dialed in like I want it to. I keep having to stop so that I can unload into the grain cart. I don't know if that's just a problem with this or just something that I'm having, but instead of being able to unload on the go, I have to actually stop the combine and let him pull up beside me and unload, which is just kind of weird. Have never had that problem with auto drive when unloading on the go, so that's why it's kind of acting up. Not really sure why, but we're going to get done with this field. We'll move on down to the next one, and obviously we're going to be baling the next 2, so I'll have the straw swath being dropped rather than just chopping the straw like we've been doing in these 2 fields we've been cutting. But so far we've taken a truckload to the farm. We've got 30 or 40,000 liters in the bin. I can't remember how much that truck holds. I think it's 40,000 liters. So we've got a truckload in the bin. There's some in the truck right now, and then we've also got some in the grain cart as well. So we are bringing in quite a lot. You can see from the yield map, we've got really good yield across the whole field with wheat, and dare I say, some of the best yield I've ever seen on Alma with wheat. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if crop rotation's just been that good, or I mean, I guess we did do a good bit of fertilizers, that could help, but I don't know, just really good conditions, and then like I said, a lot of fertilizer. So whatever has happened, this year is looking really promising. And also, I think this year we should be able to hold on to this stuff until it's time to sell it when we're supposed to in the winter. Every single year so far we've sold it a little bit early, and I have not been able to see how much money we'll get off of it in the wintertime. So fingers crossed we'll be able to hold on to it until, what, December, or whenever we sell our corn. We'll sell this stuff with it and maybe make a little bit more money all at the same time. It's the hope anyway, and I do think whenever we get on to the next field, I'm going to swap places with Todd, and he'll run the combine for a little bit, and I'm going to run the grain cart. I'd like to do that for a little while because I've been in the combine for what feels like forever, and I'd like to run the new tractor because I have yet to use it. He's been the first person to drive it around, so that'll be pretty cool, I think. And just to tell you how quick this combine fills up, I can make 4 passes up and down the field and I'm already full. So far I've made 2 right here. This will be 3, I think. And or no, this will be 4 actually, not 3. And I'm already at 58%. I'll be getting close to being full when we turn around at the end of the field. Or wait, is this past number 3? I really can't remember. I was not counting, but I could tell for sure in this corner of the, yeah, you can see right here, this corner of the field is some of the darkest green yield I've ever seen in a field before, whether it be wheat, soybeans, corn. I mean, this is seriously some crazy stuff. And the combine hopper is enormous. It's bigger than the last combine we had, and it's still filling up quickly. So yeah, if that goes to show you how good the yield is on this field, it definitely makes sense to me. It's filling the combine up real quick. Alright, so we'll hit this pass, and then we'll come back around and put our pipe out. We'll try to unload on the go. I don't know how it's going to work, but he's sitting there waiting on me, so as soon as I put my pipe out, he should be able to come out here. You know what, let's just go ahead and do it. I'll let him start up and come out this way again, because it does take him a little while to get turned around, and by the time we do get turned around, we'll be about 90% sure enough, so we need to get unloaded right about now. So yeah, you can see he's starting to come my way, but the auto drive worker, it's almost like there's like a ginormous collision behind me where he won't pull up closer to the pipe or something, and maybe it's because there's crop to the right of me or the left of me whenever I'm trying to unload. I don't know. I'll get turned around here and you may be able to see what I'm talking about. Alright, so we get turned around. He is facing the opposite way, so we're gonna have to give him time to turn around or whatever. But then he doesn't want to come up to the pipe unless I stop moving completely. Not sure why that is. We'll see if he does it right here or not. So yeah, there he goes. He did it again. He's like trailing behind me, and then he won't ever come up to me unless I get full. So, I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world, not being able to unload on the go, but I need to know if there's like a setting that I can turn on to, okay, well now he's doing that again. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure about this. I ain't got it all figured out yet, but I'm still working on it. I told you guys I got the kinks all worked out, but that is not true exactly, and I just don't know what the deal is. So here he comes. He's going to make another loop around. I guess I'm going to have to fire Todd. I don't know what he's doing today. Alright, so now he's going to pull up in position, and I can unload him. There we go. Yeah, so see, it takes a little bit. I don't know if he's like pathfinding or what the deal is. Like, he's trying to avoid the crop. Yeah, actually, that may be a good idea. If I turn off crop detection to where he can just drive through the crop, he may not loop around so much and try and find a spot to pull up next to me. So I'll do that in a second, see if that changes anything. Alright, so I turned off the fruit detection to where like he'll run over crop, or the crop detection, whatever it's called. So we'll try it now. He turned around and came back to me whenever I turned the setting on, so he didn't have any trouble there. But I'm just trying to get it fixed where he'll unload on the go, and I just can't understand why. If anybody knows, help me in the comments like usual. But it's not the biggest deal in the world, like I said, because he will, you know, pull up to me and unload regardless. But there he goes. Now he can't calculate a path, so I don't know. But I mean, he will go over to the truck and unload in the semi-trailer, which is what I want to see, but I just don't understand why he won't follow the combine. I've been trying to figure it out, and I could have sworn I had it working for a while, because it was whenever we first started this field. I mean, he followed me and everything looked alright, but I just don't know what's up with that at all. That's kind of strange to me. And also, I don't know how in the world I managed to miss all of this right here. Got a little row of shame going, so I have to come back and get that. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to finish this field up. I'm just kind of frustrated because every time I try to use auto drive, I just cannot figure it out. But it's not the end of the world. I'm going to get this field finished up. We'll move on down to the next one. I'll run the grain cart for a little bit and just let a worker or something run the combine. I'll probably let Todd do it. I'll swap places with him. So yeah, with that being said, I will wrap this field up and I will catch you guys in a little bit. Okay, we have now moved fields once again, and we're down here at our last two. Todd is running the combine, and I have been stuck to grain cart duty, which I haven't done this in a while actually. Something I just don't do very often is run grain cart and sit at the edge of the field. So Dalton's in the semi truck. He's still been hauling grain. We've now got 2 loads off to the farm, which means we're getting in a semi truck load every field, which I don't know if that's great, but it's not terrible. And I set him up, got the straw swath going, so he's dropping straw on the ground as he goes around, and we'll unload him as he needs be. So he'll just shoot me a message on the CB radio. There's one in the cab, so I probably need to get back in, but I was just walking out here and taking a look real quick. I am very excited to run the new tractor for the first time. Todd beat me to it this time. Usually I am the one that gets to run the new tractor first, but he was the one in the cart, so he got a feel for it first, and he said he really likes it. So we'll do a little bit of outside cab and in cab as well, which you can see looks really nice in here. It's got a nice interior, so we'll follow Todd around the field. We'll catch up to him because I don't know what the yield is looking like on this field. I'm pretty sure he said it is really good, so we're getting a lot of wheat off of this field as well. Even though this field is kind of smaller, it's in the bottoms, doesn't usually bring in the best yield. Hopefully we'll still get a lot out of this field, and then as soon as we're done, we'll jump over to the right of me. You can just barely see the field through the trees. You guys know how it goes. We usually swap over to that field as soon as we get done with this one, or vice versa. So yeah, we'll just catch up to him, make sure he don't need to be emptied so far, and I can already see the wheat in the top of the bin. And also Todd did in fact tell me that this tractor pulls the grain cart really good, so that's a bonus. He said uphill it works good and everything in between, so it does not struggle to pull this grain cart even with a full load. We need to test it out on a field like this that has a very steep and long incline all the way to the top of the road, but a field like we've been working with just happens to have a few rolling hills. But I don't know, he said it handles it really good, so that's a bonus for sure. Alright, so I think how we're going to do this is whenever we switch over to the next field, somebody's going to take this home, the grain cart and the tractor, and I'll swap back into the combine, I'm assuming. Reason for that is because next field is kind of small. We don't really need to have somebody running the grain cart. Somebody's going to go and hop in the planter tractor, and we're going to start working soybeans in the ground. We're going to, like I said, hit those 2 fields of wheat that don't have any straw on it. We're going to plant those first, and then as soon as I get done harvesting the wheat, me and whoever's driving the semi, I guess it'll just be Dalton. So Todd will swap places with me. And yeah, that's right, Todd will swap places with me. He'll take the grain cart back to the farm. I'll hop back in the combine. I'll finish this field up. Then me and Dalton will head back to the farm. I'll hop in the baling setup, and I'll come back out here and I'll bale the straw swaths. And by the time I get done baling, I should have Dalton probably coming out here to pick up the bales for me, and then that'll be just in the nick of time for Todd to come around and finish planting the soybeans. That's how I'd like to do it, but we'll see how it goes. And I know we've got plenty of time to get soybeans in the ground, but the earlier the better, right? We've got the entire month of July, but rain is looking like a possibility in the next couple days, and that would just totally screw up everything. So I want to get the wheat straw baled up and the soybeans in the ground and kind of established as quick as I can. I know that may not be 100% possible, but we're going to try it for sure. We got to obviously clean the planter out, switch it over to beans, and put some seed in the planter, that sort of thing. Or no, actually, we've already got some soybeans in the planter from whenever we went out to those fields. So we're ready to rock and roll. We ain't really got to do much to it. I was totally wrong there. But we also happen to have some hay bales to get up. I totally forgot to mention that. We cut hay in the last episode, and off camera I raked everything and baled it up. But but the bales are still sitting in the field. So eventually I'd like to break the gooseneck trailer out and go get some footage of that as we pick up the bales. I think that'd be pretty neat. But I don't know when we'll do that. I obviously want to get done with all this stuff first, and then we'll get to that maybe by August or so. I'll leave them out in the field for a little while longer. Just not a big priority right now. And I also need to figure out what we're doing with the hay shed, the little three-sided barn next to the bins, because I'd really like to just put all of the hay in there and probably pull the Ford tractor and the rake and all that out of there and just use it for a bunch of hay storage. And actually, the International Grain Truck, I'm thinking about selling that off because we just don't ever really use it. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff on the farm that we don't use but could potentially use, but the International Grain Truck's just not exactly a... it's not something we want to keep around because we've got the wagons, and we don't need those because we've got the semi-truck. And if we didn't need the semi-truck right here, then we'd use the wagons. So, I don't know. I just think we could sell the grain truck for a little bit of money because we don't ever use it. And to be honest with you, I can't name 2 times we've used it on the series, except for maybe the first year when we were hauling grain out, when we had somebody running the truck hauling grain. So that's a possibility, but I'm just not exactly real sure. So we are going to get this field finished up, and then I'll switch back into the combine, and we'll wrap the last field up. We'll head back to the farm and swap places one last time, and we'll hop in the, I guess, the 4250, and we'll start baling the straw. We'll just come right back out here. So yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's do that, and I will meet up with you guys then. Alright, just like that, we are done harvesting all of the wheat. All the equipment's back at the farm and put up, and I gotta say, we did that in, like, seriously, record time. That was really fast. We just parked all the stuff over here. I'm probably gonna bring the pressure washer out and clean a lot of this stuff up, especially the combine, or probably only the combine. The combine's filthy, and maybe the head as well, because we're just gonna let it sit until it's time to break it back out in October or September, somewhere in there, to harvest corn and soybeans. But we do have to clean this up right here at the bin, and I do need to come down here and see how much wheat we have in the bin, which it should be a lot. It's just what I'm hoping it to be, and 116,000 liters. So, okay, maybe not as much as I was thinking, but that's still a good bit. From 4 fields, that's actually a lot. So we're going to be returning this in the near future, probably in the next couple days, actually, because we just borrowed this for wheat harvest. And then we'll pick either one like this up or a different one for fall harvest to use. Then we got to put the tractor and the auger back up. But I'll get to this stuff later. I will close the bin lid just to let it all sit here. I'll clean it up off camera. But for right now, we need to get to work baling the straw. Todd has already gone to, let's see, the field down the dirt road. He is planting soybeans right about now, I'm pretty sure. He's been going for quite a while because he came up here before we even got done harvesting wheat. We swapped fields, and while we were harvesting the last one, he came up here and parked the tractor. So he should be wrapping things up on that side of the operation. We are going to get the wheat straw baled so he can follow behind us because he can't get in the fields unless the straw's baled up. But first, before we head out to the field, we need to put some more bale net wrap in the baler. It's running a little bit low, so I'm going to swing over here and put some in the baler. We should have only a cartridge left or so, maybe a net wrap roll. Let's see, we have just a tiny bit left. Yeah, okay, so we need a entire new roll, and I really hope we have some because I don't remember. I'll look back here and check real quick and see. Alright, so I'm seeing square bale, and yeah, there is a round bale net back here. Okay. So let's grab that real quick and we'll pop one in there. Just need to move this pallet of seed out of the way real quick, and we should be able to shimmy back in there and grab that out. Alright, we just barely got it on the forks. It was kind of in an awkward spot because there were more pallets of seed like around it, so we couldn't exactly get back in there, but this should do us just fine. Let's pull up here so we can load it up. Usually we don't use that much net wrap, but for some reason this baler does use a good bit, and we're not going to be able to fill the second roll all the way up, so we'll just go ahead and close it. That'll be fine for now. We'll use the last of the second one in there, and then we'll put another roll in there. So should do us just fine. I'll put this over to the side because we'll probably burn through that last roll, baling all the straw up. There's a good bit on the ground. Then I'll just park the skid steer right here, and we can hop back in the tractor and head out to the field. But the fact that we were able to get all the wheat harvested and head out to start baling the straw and even get to planting our soybeans on the first day, that's a miracle. I mean, that's really some of the best work I've ever done. And this is, I think, our biggest wheat harvest ever. We've never had this many fields to get to. We've had like two or three always, but never four. And some of the fields we harvested were pretty big. So I think this is our biggest wheat harvest, and we still managed to do everything else we needed to in the same day. We didn't have to like carry it all over into July 2nd, July 3rd. We did everything today. So that is pretty awesome. Means we got a lot of stuff, or we have a lot of downtime to do other stuff. We don't have to get where we're rushing to get everything finished. We got it all done right now. So thinking tomorrow, I'm going to get the hay bales up, put them in the shed. I'm going to do some more equipment organizing because I want to figure out something with the hay shed. I think I mentioned that a good while ago. I want to like either put a few pieces of equipment in the hay shed or move most of it out. I'll probably keep the Ford tractor in there, but I want to get the grain truck out and the rake and all that stuff. I want to fill that building, the barn right there, the little shed. I want to fill it like all the way to the brim with hay. That's just where I want to put the hay at. It's easily accessible. And then what I have been calling the hay shed, which is just the pull-through cold storage shed, that'll just be for equipment. We won't put any more bales in there because I was putting straw bales in there, but we don't have to do that anymore. We're not really square baling straw, so we'll leave the round bales of straw outside, and we'll just use that barn as like a machine haul, what it's basically intended for. And then the little three-sided shed next to the bins will just be stocked full of hay. So I want to get to that tomorrow, and like I said, get the hay up, and then I'm guessing just finish planting our soybeans because I don't know if we'll get to finish it all tonight. I was just saying I'm happy we got to get started with everything because last year we got our wheat harvested in the first day, and then we had to bale straw and start planting the second day, and then we finally wrapped it all up the third day. So we were there the whole time working the entire month of July on this right here. But yeah, you can see there is a good deal of straw on the ground. These swaths are full. They're pretty big too. And I guess the only reason for that is because we've got a bigger head on the combine, and it forces more chaff, and it puts it all out in a bigger row because instead of cutting 25 feet each pass, we're cutting maybe about 30 or 32 feet, maybe even more than that. It may actually be 35 feet every pass with that, a 9-meter header. So that's pretty big either way. But we'll use some of this stuff for bedding, and the rest of it we don't use, we will sell because straw brings in a good amount of money if you sell it at the right time. Usually around winter time when people are putting out bedding for their cattle or pigs or just about anything, any animals that require bedding to stay warm through the winter, they're buying a lot of that stuff. So if you can figure out when to sell it, which is like I said usually in December, January, peak winter months, it sells for quite a lot of bale. And something that I used to do on the previous On the Map challenge on Alma in 22 was sell soybean straw. Now that stuff made even more money for whatever reason. And not a lot of people bale soybean straw. I'm assuming it could be used for like roughage in like an animal's diet. I'm not exactly sure if that's what you'd use it for real, but it sold for a lot of money, so it makes me think it was worth a lot. Obviously I have not been doing that on this series because it feels like a cheat method and it just takes a lot of time having to come back and bale every field of soybean straw. So have not been doing it, but you'd be surprised how much stuff like this really does sell for. It's kind of worth it in my opinion just to bale a field or two and sell the straw. But obviously we won't sell every bit of it because we need it. We've got the feed lot down there. We've been putting straw out for those guys because if we don't put straw out, we won't get manure. So we have to put straw out if we're going to have some manure to spread on fields. But so far 3 bales on almost an entire pass around the field is not too bad. And I reset my bale counter, so we'll see exactly how many straw bales we get. Hopefully it's in like the 30s or so. I'll bring the gooseneck trailer down here probably tomorrow as well, and we'll pick these bales up whenever we get done picking the hay bales up. So yeah, wheat harvest was a pretty big success this year. Everything worked out exactly like I wanted it to. The combine had no breakdowns, which is honestly really good. That's ideal. I was expecting the combine to break down this year because we were so lucky with not having many breakdowns. I just kind of figured we'd have something go wrong, but nope, nothing happened at all. We were able to get through everything smoothly, and don't know if I mentioned this or not already, but we should be able to see how much wheat we'll actually sell for this winter, because we've been selling the wheat early like every single year for some reason. Like there's always a reason for us doing it, but this year we don't exactly have a reason, so we'll be able to sell the wheat when we sell the corn, and I'm thinking it will bring in a lot more money when we sell it in the winter, because we're selling it at just the base price, or we are selling it at the base price when we bring it. Like right now we usually sell it right out of the field, or like into September, and it just doesn't bring in a bunch of money. So if we wait and sell it in the wintertime, thinking it will bring in at least double the profit or more. But anyway, I am going to get these fields wrapped up. We've got this one, and then we've got the one through the tree line right there. So we've just got 2 that we need to do. Not very many. We should get a lot of bales though. So kind of curious to see how many we're going to end up with. But I'm going to get them knocked out, and then I will catch up with you guys tomorrow. And I'd kind of like to get some more planting done. So I'll let Todd finish up, and then we may be back out in these same fields over here planting soybeans. So it just kind of depends on how it goes, but the sun is already setting. It's already 7 o'clock, so I'm going to try my best to knock every bit of this out real quick, and hopefully we can get in here and start planting. If not, I'll be back tomorrow. So with all that being said, I'll catch you guys then. Well, it is now the next morning. It's July 2nd, and I am back in a field of wheat, and I'm planting soybeans. So we got wrapped up last night baling the straw. Stayed up kind of late getting that done. I think I got back to the farm at about 8:45. So we were out there for quite a while, but lo and behold, we did get all of the fields done. and Todd and Dalton are currently picking up the straw bales. So he brought his truck, he's hooked up to the gooseneck trailer, they're picking up the bales, and I am following behind with the planter. So we've kind of swapped positions with what we're doing, but we're still multitasking and trying to get it all done today. We almost got it all done yesterday, but there was a problem that came up with the planter. We had to get it fixed. One of the the gauge wheels or something was like sheared. The bolt was sheared, so we had to pull it out, take a look at it, and there was obviously more wrong than that. But that's just kind of the surface level problem. Was a bolt was sheared on some of the gauge wheels on the right wing of the planter. Like if you fold it up, it's in 3 different parts. There's the middle part and then the 2 wings that fold around. It was on the right wing. So I don't know if we ran over something in a field and it messed it up or what the deal was, but we had to get that fixed. So we had to go get parts. And we did that last night when I got home. So I didn't even go to bed till about 11 o'clock or even after that, which I know is not super late. It's not super late for me, but I'm up bright and early this morning, so didn't get a lot of sleep last night. But anywho, we got that fixed. Todd did do a few fields yesterday, but I'm going to wrap everything up today. So that's the direction we're headed in right now anyway. And hopefully we should have everything done by about lunchtime. That's kind of what I'm thinking we should be nearing to. And then so yesterday, whenever I was getting finished, the bale counter said 30 bales is how many we made out of the 2 fields, which in my opinion is really not that bad at all. So we got a good bit of straw, and they'll just bring all that back to the farm, and we'll sort piles into what we're selling off and what we're keeping and all that stuff. So we'll get to figuring that out as well. But it certainly has been a while since we've done this right here. I mean, it's been a year at least since we've planted double crop soybeans, and I know we have been running the planter a lot recently, but there's just something so much more satisfying about planting soybeans into wheat stubble. I think this is so much more enjoyable. I don't know about you guys, but it is just very satisfying to watch the rows come in between the rows of wheat stubble. I don't know if that's how you'd word it, but just kind of how the row cleaners get rid of all the wheat stubble, and you can see the plant lines after. I don't know, it's just so satisfying, and I absolutely love it. And I also think it's pretty cool to see the combine lanes where the stubble got destroyed, and you can see just how straight and accurate the GPS was from the rows and passes up the field. So that is something pretty cool as well. I don't ever mention that, but you can tell it on this field 100%. But anyways, I believe that's all I've got for you guys today. We've done a good bit in this episode. We've stayed very busy, like I touched on in the last episode. In a matter of weeks, and honestly even less than a month, we have done way too much stuff. We've been grinding, so it'll be nice to wrap all this up and have a little bit of a break before we push on to fall harvest. And that's exactly what our schedule is going to look like. So we're going to wrap up the rest of the soybean planting. We're going to pick up the hay bales and the straw bales, and then sell off the cows and every little thing we've got to do left. There's a couple ins and out jobs we got to do, but for the most part, it's going to be smooth sailing right up until October, September when we start corn harvest. So, yeah. So, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will catch you all in the next one.